again, everyone. This is episode 72 of Sound Pollution. I am flying solo this week as my co-host is still out on parental leave. Want to take the opportunity just one more time to congratulate him and his beautiful wife on the new addition to their lovely family. This week, I got to interview Darksoft and touch base with him as he returns to the show to discuss his new album, his new music video, songwriting, advice, and the upcoming Look Up Fest. Make sure you show my buddy here some love and affection by clicking on those links below. Off to the show. Hey!
Hey.
How are you?
Good. I was just writing you a song.
Oh, God. It's been a day, man. It's been a day. I could use this song. So check out, we're going to start it off with my funny because I didn't have a co-host to do a funny with in the intro.
Uh-huh.
So I left for work today solid. Like, I had my food prep, my veggie stuff. Like, I'm on it. Kids ready to go to school. Doing it. I am at work for 2.5 hours before I realized by trying to put, I'm a healthcare provider. So I'm trying to put gloves in my scrubs. And I can't do that. Would you like to know why?
Why?
Because I had my pants on inside out for 2.5 fucking hours.
Oh my God. How do you let that happen?
You're busy in the morning.
Jeez.
You have a kid. You understand.
I understand.
How's the
fam? I'm not trying to go to some healthcare job. That must be frantic.
I take care of old people. It's okay.
Oh,
as long as I keep them in their like little vicinities. And they're like contained. We're good.
Got it.
Like, just don't touch anything. It's all.
Just don't go anywhere. Don't talk to anyone.
That's about what we're
I went to a bar for like the first time last night in forever.
How weird was it?
It was really weird, and then the people there were weird. I chose to meet this like friend who I've never met in person. It was like some online connection. This guy from Italy, Raphael. Shout out to Raphael.
Yeah, I think we discussed him. Did we discuss him?
Maybe.
I think we did.
I don't know. And we ended up just going to this funky bar, and this guy like exposed himself to
oh my God
in the bathroom. And like he was like talking about sizes and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And poor Raphael is like not from the United States. He's like, wait, is this fucking horrified.
Normal? Yeah. He was asking like, so is this like normal for people around here?
Oh my God.
Like, absolutely not.
No.
This guy's a perv. Sorry about that.
No.
And he was like, making up all these crazy stories about how he like was a bodyguard for the Bush family, and like, got someone involved in the Bush family to like have this meltdown from drinking and stuff. He was like, oh yeah, that was all me. He just had so many crazy stories, and then eventually we realized like, oh, I think 10% of this is true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I listened to your album and I love it.
Oh, really?
I do. I very much enjoyed what you sent me. Not only did I enjoy it, but my 16-year-old, I was sitting here listening to Something from Nothing just a few minutes ago. That's sort of why I was behind. And I was like, wow, I really like this song. She was like, yeah, I really like it too. Who is he? And that's so cool. I told her, and I was like, you can find him on YouTube. And so she's trying to search it, but she spelled it wrong. And I was like, hold on. And so I grabbed her phone. And so if the 16-year-olds are digging you,
that's good.
You're good out the gate.
That's the market.
That's the market. And she was into it. And I think she's like in her room with her headphones on listening to your last album right now. So
oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that sweet?
That's amazing.
She was like, she's
What's her name?
Her name's Persephone.
Persephone? That's a beautiful name. Wow. I can send her like a signed copy or something. If
you don't have to do that, but she would be stoked, I think.
Oh,
she really liked it. She's great. Like, we'll be driving in the car and I just hand her my phone. Because like I can get stuck in my types of music, and then I'll search for new people. But I'm like everybody else. What's comfortable right now? What's comforting?
Yeah.
And
that's kind of just what I wanted to make with this album. It's like
it had that
didn't
feel.
Ask too much of the listener, and it was just something like comfortable.
It was very Pacific Northwest nostalgia. So you weren't even trying, really. You were just kind of like, let's keep it baseline and happy.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of in my notes to talk about. I was just
Excellent.
I went into this one like I didn't want to try as hard because I thought with my last album I put a lot of effort into it and recorded a bunch of different types of instrumentation. Yeah, I just wanted to keep things more simple.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice.
Now, was it easy? This is the third album that you've released. Yeah. So was it easier to write the third album? Were you like, I know how I'm going to go in, how to lay out my songs, how I'm going to, what, effects I'm going to use, all of that. Was it like a smoother process this time around?
Yeah, I think it was a little smoother. A big part of my life recently was that we just had a baby. My partner
I saw. Yeah. Oh, congratulations! My new co-host, he just had a baby. Like,
oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Right, you mentioned that.
Yeah,
so
all you baby having people
on right now. Oh yeah, so we did the whole COVID baby thing, right? Kind of in the anticipation coming into that. I was like, I'm gonna finish an album before this child pops out and like changes our lives for the better permanently. So it was kind of a goal of mine, and I was able to make it happen. And work in my new studio here too. So it was all developed down in this basement, which you see.
And I see it. Yes.
Yeah.
It looks good. And the sound in there is good. Like, how nice is it to have like your own creative space?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And we made a big shift. We moved to Maine.
Yeah, you told me.
Well, towards the end of last year, kind of the start of this year.
Timeout, which is funny. You moved from like Washington State to Maine, so like there was no temperature changes for you. Like everything remained relatively everything. I guess just different people.
Yeah, just different.
That's how to do
basically. It. Basically, about the same kind of ecosystem.
Similar, yeah, definitely.
More leaves and like shit to clean up with leaves. It's like a lot of leaves around here.
Yeah, we have leaves here too.
Yeah.
That's just why I'm in an apartment and somebody else can take care of that. I don't want to.
Right? So, yeah. More responsible.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
I don't know what I was trying to say there. It was just like, I decided to just try a little bit less. I know like the sound I'm going for with Darksoft. For this project, for this album specifically, I was obsessed with like power chords with a ninth on top of them. That sort of, you just make that chord shaping, and it's like you're skipping out every other fret essentially on the guitar. And
PJ Harvey does that a lot.
Yeah, it's like very classic alternative 2000 sound, and
it made me super happy. Your sound is like your sound. It's very specific. I mean, I've heard other like dream poppy artists, and they'll have like a similar feel, but you have like your own unique tones almost. Was that done on purpose, or was that just a complete accident?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I just made like my first album without thinking about it too much in terms of like what the sound would be. Just like whatever is the output. But at the same time, I was kind of shooting for influences from that. I don't know, that inspired me when I was more of like a teenager, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I wanted something that was nostalgic for like someone of my age, and not like nostalgic for someone maybe older who like actually grew up in the 80s or in 90s. And so like,
that's
no, I'm not.
No, I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
I assume we're like similar in age or something.
I don't think we are.
No? Okay. No, you look young.
God bless you. I'm going to leave that in. I want everybody to know that.
You have like nice skin and stuff.
Thank you. That's Olay. That's Oil of Olay. And I haven't been in the sun in like 3 years because COVID.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
It's been very helpful.
And healthy. I hadn't used guitar crunch and distortion in a while. And so I kind of brought that into this project. And then like a lot of sort of hip hop sounding beats, I kind of gravitate toward. I love percussion, and like I have a stockpile of like percussion and some container over here, like different shakers and maracas, and so like everything you hear is real. I mean, I do like layer some electronic hits over the drums, just kind of the sound, like just to make things more apparent. But everything is like natural or acoustically recorded.
So it's almost like you went back to basics.
Kind of, yeah. Remember when like Dave Grohl made Foo Fighters and it was like all his own thing and he like recorded all the parts himself. So I've always kind of thought about that with like, I'm going to make a sound that sounds like a rock band. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to make it sound like it's too electronic. And
so like Lots of Life's Changes, and did that find its way into your lyrics?
Yeah, for this one it did. It was like a pretty personal album. There's some songs like Something from Nothing I wrote for my daughter and her mother, and it's just kind of to express my love for them. And I mean, just the whole act of creation is so elemental. You know, you're literally taking the code of two people and intertwining it, and I kind of just wanted to capture that mystery in that song of just like making something from not absolutely nothing, because there's like obviously this genetic code or whatever, but it's cool to see something be created from just like particles.
Other than writing a love song to your partner and your daughter, what all went into that song? I
try to put more effects on the guitar, mm-hmm. and for the lead on that one, I really wanted something that was like, I did it all direct in, so mm-hmm. that just means plugging like straight into the USB interface or whatever, and kind of going for like this chilling chorusy sound. I just wanted to recreate something from nothing that was like very, very simple and cold,
clean. Yeah, it was very clean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of like The Cure. Maybe
yes, definitely The Cure. That is who it was, and like, what does that remind me of?
Yeah, that was a big influence on that song, definitely. And then I used some like special reverb kind of synth emulation pedal to get some background effects to fill up the space, and using some like odd dissonant chords just kind of to make it feel more dreamy. And then that was the only song on the record that I really gave a lot of space to just like drone out at the end.
Yeah.
Some of my songwriting is like usually pretty straightforward. Just like, here's your standard rock structure.
Right.
And on my last album, Eternal Blue, I liked how that song just sort of like droned on and on at the end, and it just kind of felt magical like that. And I wanted to have a song on the album that just felt like it went on a bit too long or something.
It doesn't feel like it went on too long.
Okay.
I just to make you feel better, we were vibing. Like, I was sitting here and was like, yes, I've got a glass of wine. She's eating dinner. Like, it was great. I liked how you found, because I saw on Instagram where you found that super cool camera.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That is, first off, I don't know how you found that. That was badass. And the great little videos you were taking of her and the baby with that cool, nostalgic, like, camera. We try like hell to make those filters now, and they're nowhere near what you were able to capture with that. I mean,
I hate filters. I want to go like toward the real thing.
I love
when I'm like making designs and stuff. Yeah, I found a Super 8 camera just around my house. Not in my house, but like at a garage sale, pretty close to me, and started messing around with it. You can buy some 8mm film just on Amazon. They don't produce it anymore, but I think some people are hoarding some old Kodak film from way back when.
It looked so cool. Is that going to make... That's so cool. Is that going to make its way into a video?
Yeah, so what you saw was just me testing it with my family. And then once we proved that the thing could work, and I actually sent it out to get developed, because there's about only 1 or 2 places that actually develop 8mm now. I had to send it to California. No kidding. So once I proved it worked, then we planned a music video, and my partner Sandy helped with it, and she was awesome. And we basically got a babysitter for the day, and then like went out to this beach, Old Orchard Beach in Maine, and it kind of feels like a California West Coast beach, oddly, like with the old pier and carnival kind of stuff, that aesthetic. And then we wrote out a whole chart of the shot lists that we were going to make, and we only had 6 minutes of footage because I got 2 rolls to use for the day, 3 minutes a piece. Gosh. So we had to like time things perfectly so that we could only use like 5 seconds for this shot, 5 seconds for this shot. And it was a very simple music video. It was just like me finding a guitar that's washed ashore, and then I just start playing it and write on it, and then kind of throw it back into the ocean at the end.
And that's going to be the Something from Nothing?
That was for Looking Backward. Yeah, that's the second song on the album.
How are you now balancing fatherhood? Because parenthood is a lot.
Yes.
How are you balancing that and your music? How do you make time for each?
It kind of comes down to time management.
Okay.
You know, and a friend told me recently, who's like a dad, and he's just talking about the projects he does in his life, and it's just like, I just chip away at things, you know, and I like put time into things when I can. So I think it's just like time management and like having more long-term goals. Everything just feels a little slower, you know, like if you have a goal, you sort of have to make more time for it, so that you can support everything that matters now equally. If that makes sense.
Do you play guitar for her?
Yeah,
actually, I didn't ask, so I didn't know. I'm sorry. She said that.
No, we've like written songs together. I got this keyboard. Where did I put it? And she plays it on the ground.
Oh.
So we've gotten like, I want to have her be a part of this, you know.
Yeah, you and your partner are like making videos together, and she seems like she's really a part
she's very supportive. We've like collaborated on music together, and
that's super special.
She like wants me to continue doing this, so it doesn't feel like an end. It just feels like
it's a new step,
another bonus, a new step. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Your stuff does bring me back personally to an area and a time that I hold very close to me. That dream pop, that alternative, the kind of just a hint of grunge, like it just, I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. And yeah, thank you. I said you're welcome. So you said you had a couple interesting stories for me, so shoot.
Oh yeah, sure. So there's one song on the album called Arctic Archive, and it was sort of inspired by this whole thing that GitHub does, which is like the world's largest repository of open source software. And are you familiar with like the seed vault?
Never heard of
North Pole. Well, there's this vault of seeds that
like planting seeds, like
planting seeds. Yeah, exactly. Like, so if society were to collapse, then
I'm sorry.
If we had an apocalypse,
Oh, it's fine. Keep going.
If we lost all the seeds and couldn't grow anything anymore, not like a pandemic apocalypse. If that were to happen, then we have all that in storage somewhere. Well, they did the same thing with like all the software that the world depends on, essentially, like all these open source projects. Yeah. And so they printed it on film and then stored it in some abandoned mine near the North Pole, like north of Norway, in this island called Svalbard, something like that. And they kind of just did it without asking all the developers. And so basically just like took a snapshot of all the code and then put it in this vault to last 1,000 years.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's like this snapshot of all the software the world depends on, just like sitting in case of some terrible disaster. And
not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. And I don't know, that was interesting to me. And just the whole idea of like, we think our digital selves and our digital representations will last, but really they're quite fickle. And like, in order to preserve anything for the long term, like you really need to, I don't know, make a physical rendition of it or something. And yeah, I guess I was just thinking of like, personally, are you ready to have a snapshot of your work, your life, your person kind of stored for eternity?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And most people are not ready for that, right?
Well, I mean, what a waste of space. But
yeah.
I'm so boring. No. They're like, oh, she drank wine and read a book.
And talked with musicians.
And talked with musicians. Okay. Yeah. Hey, it could be worse. I actually really like it. It's fine.
No, that sounds like a nice life. And you're helping people.
I'm helping.
You should be proud of that.
I am pretty proud of that.
So we should freeze you.
We should freeze me.
Yeah.
Do you think they should do something like that with music?
That's really, that's interesting.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Like instead, like get like the major, like, and not like Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but like, like the tapes and vinyl, like find original stuff and put that crap in a vault. Not crap. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
And in like CDs and like little MP3s and like it and like just put it in a vault somewhere.
I mean, absolutely. But we should print on diamond. Okay, because diamond can last like
this is true
tens of thousands
forever.
Of years. Forever, diamonds are forever. But yeah, seriously, there must be some projects trying to do something like that. So that kind of inspired the theme of like cryogenics and cryo for the name of the album. I got this friend of a friend to design the album artwork, and we actually did like a 3D version of my face. We took like a bunch of pictures, and so he created this model. It's like the cryogenic chamber. It's like the album, and then there's like the back cover that's like on the CD. And I don't know, we might do tapes for it or something.
They're amazing.
The front artwork is by Owen Blodgett, and the back cover art is by Jordan Bundle.
Well, they're freaking badass.
Yeah, they did such a good job.
Never.
And it was just basic. It was like based on some pencil drawings I did. I was like, okay, make something out of this.
No pressure.
You know, just going to be an cryogenic chamber.
It's fine. Just do what you need to do. They're like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, okay. Crazy man.
For this album, I had it mixed by someone new. His name is Zach Van Zumeren, who is Canadian, and I met through Elephants and Dogs, and we're like on the same label together. And
what's the name of that label?
Look Up Records.
That's right.
Look Up, yeah.
I follow them. Just had to throw that in there.
Yes, right. Thank you. Thank you.
So, how do you feel about the person who mixed your album? I'm not even going to try to say his name again.
Yeah, Zach.
Zach. Yeah, we could just
great job. It was like really easy to work with. Just kept things simple. Didn't like add too much or like change the sound in any bad way. I had him like work on effects too. So some of the stuff I just recorded direct in, and I would kind of like direct him on what I was going for, and then he'd like work on toning the parts. Yeah, I did a great job of that. And then it was mastered by Mike Vernon Davis, who is in Washington, I believe, and is a mixer master. kind of working around Seattle.
Seattle.
Seattle. Yes. I will be going back to Seattle if the Omicron gods are good to me, and COVID willing. So this would be my first live show, and basically my band is waiting over there just to jump in, and they're rock stars. Yeah, they're really
what a great
good
support
guys.
system.
I know. So I'm gonna get there a few days earlier, and we're just gonna practice like crazy. And then we have a show at Cafe Racer on Capitol Hill on the 11th of March. And then that show's with Early Internet and Sea Lemon, two really good local bands. And then the day after that, I'm organizing a larger event called Look Up Fest. And we try to do this once a year. We skipped last year because of the pandemic. I'm trying to bring it back. And we've got a really good lineup of Pacific Northwest bands from Bellingham down to Seattle. Yeah, it's going to be a really good night.
And when's Look Up Fest again?
That's March 12th at the Rendezvous in Belltown, Seattle. The lineup is posted on the Look Up website.
I think I shared it once. Yeah.
There's quite a bit of bands. I'm actually getting down to Portland, Oregon on the 13th. We're vanning down with Elephants and Dogs, who is flying in from Ontario for Look Up Fest.
So where are you guys? Where are you and Elephants and Dogs? Great band name. Gonna be performing.
You know what it's in reference to?
No.
It's the mnemonic device to remember the names of the guitar strings.
Let's talk about the next track that you're allowing me to play, Deep Space. Tell me about how that song came to be.
Yeah, I wanted something that sort of sounded like Nirvana, but kind of my own take. That was just very much grunge.
Yeah.
But with like a melody that you could pick up from it too. So that was kind of my inspiration when I was writing it. And that is tuned down to drop D, and there's like a lot of open chords. So it's really easy and just like a classic rock kind of style of picking and playing it for like the rhythm guitar parts. So that's kind of usually how I start writing, is with the rhythm guitar, and then layer in the lyrics and then melody lines on the other instrumentations on top of that. And I guess I was kind of like doing two things with the lyrics in this song. I mean, kind of deep space is relevant to my life, and like leaving home, going into uncharted territory, and kind of like maybe doubting the journey, but reveling in it at the same time, and hoping everything will turn out okay. You know, when I think like life is about the journey, you know, more so than the destination. Like when I reach a destination, I usually just find another destination. I'm like a shark. I want to keep swimming. Swimming. yeah, just keep on going into that deep space. Oh, this song was called Lost Cause originally, but I thought that sounded kind of too negative, and also I forgot that it was a Beck song name, and so I renamed it Deep Space. And then my partner was like, "Oh, you know that's an Ariana Grande song name, right?"
You can't win. It's fine. Just go with it.
I know.
Like, there's too many other musicians. There's no way you're not going to do it.
Yes, you're always going to share, even like
Something from Nothing. Something from Nothing is a Foo Fighters song.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that? Am I the first person telling you that?
Yes.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, you're gonna have to. There's no way with the amount of music that we are so saturated.
That's hilarious.
And it's one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs, actually.
My favorite is Everlong. And I like imitated the opening for Everlong in one of the songs off this album.
Which one?
Kind of. It was Shadow.
Okay.
Is just kind of how the builds happens in the beginning with like the snare drums. Yeah. I was just thinking about that when I was
that's funny.
laying it down. Yeah.
The Foo Fighters are amazing.
Yeah, they're great, and especially that those earlier albums. But also in Deep Space, I was kind of thinking about like leaving Earth as well, like because there's so much investment going into like space travel, and these huge grandiose plans to colonize Mars and prepare for that, which I think is awesome. I think it's great if like humanity has some shared goal that is very long term for the future. Maybe it could help
like an excuse to be nice to each other. Exactly.
Yes. And realize like we're all the same being. But at the same time, is it unethical to colonize other planets without fixing ours first? Yes. I kind of think about that camping axiom about, try to leave the world a little bit better than you found it. And so I just hope that my actions are like not creating problems and making the world a little bit better. I guess that's what I want someone to take away from the song, maybe.
Don't know what you got, don't have a clue.
we talked about percussion a little bit at the beginning of the interview. I want to talk about the drums that come in. I think it's like about the second chorus or something. Because there's this little like drummies. And I was like, oh yeah, like wood block, I think. Yeah, is that what it is? Okay, yeah.
I put in a little bit of wood block.
I liked
it. The shakers.
Yes, I was
because I was going. That was a very kind of Beck moment, actually.
It was because I was going along and I was like, yeah, I like the feel of this, and then I was like, ooh, what's that little sound? I love it when artists stick that random instrument in, and they're like, I'm not only putting it in here, I'm gonna make it so good you're gonna like it.
Raynell, you are gonna love my next album. Okay.
Okay. So the one that you're working on now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just bought a VibraSlap.
Oh, what now?
A VibraSlap.
Show me. Can you show me? Is it in your studio?
No, it's not here. Next time.
I'm gonna look it up.
You know Cake, right?
Yes.
So that song that's long skirt, short jacket. Short jacket, long skirt. One of those,
short jacket. No, you had it right the first time.
Okay, yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to hear it though.
You listen to it, and once you hear this sound that's like, that's the VibraSlap, and it's like signature to Cake.
Okay.
And I just want to bring it back. I want to bring it back.
I think you should bring it back.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna attempt.
Throw in like these instruments, because I love electronic music and I love how we can use it to manipulate the instruments we have. I think that it gives us more tones to play with, because there's only so much you can get. It's like a guitarist. It's like, yeah, I can play all these chords, but if I have a pedal, I can play them differently.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool. But when people bring some old stuff back and they throw that into the mix, it just adds depth to it.
I have something that I'm going to go grab right now. Because I did use it in Deep Space. Okay. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's cool. Yes, I do remember that sound. What is that?
It's this thunder, emulation, just percussion instrument.
I have never seen one of those.
It's super nerdy, but I got it and I put it in the song. It's in the intro.
Yes, it is. Yes.
That's a real recording.
Oh, I thought that was a loop of some kind. That is that is awesome.
Yeah.
So everything that you have written, you can actually do on stage. To an extent.
Oh, to an extent. There's a lot of synths in the first or the second album, especially. Yes. And when we were playing some of those songs live, we had backing tracks.
That's fine. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of synths, you don't really have another option unless you get a badass synth player.
It is possible. And with this project, I did want to make stuff that felt more like a live performance, or that it could be played live. So yeah, especially in this last album, things are more of a 4-piece band.
So are you looking forward to getting together with your I won't want to say old bandmates, but it probably feels like it because it's been a long time with everything
absolutely.
That's happened.
Yeah.
Are you guys excited?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. It's going to be great to see them.
You haven't played. When was the last time you played with them?
That was February 2020, I think. So that was right before the lockdown. And
right before.
I made the first Darksoft album at the end of 2018. Mm-hmm. And then we played together throughout 2019, live shows around Seattle. So it was really just that 1 year that I was kind of starting it up with live shows, I realized. And we had a tour scheduled for March, which was a 2-week thing down the coast and back.
That's the one. That's
worst
the
possible
one.
timing. Yeah, that was canceled.
That's okay. You're going to get to do it again.
I think it was for the best because I just kind of went back into the studio and just made a lot of new stuff and just worked on my sound.
Yeah, I would say this is the second album release since the lockdown, basically, for you.
Yeah.
So you've really embraced it. You were like, well, if this is what the universe has given with me, all right, universe.
I don't mind. Yeah, especially since I self-write and record. I'm kind of a jack of many instruments, but a master of none.
Right.
And kind of, maybe it sounds like I'm a control freak, and maybe that's true, but you can like be more productive when you're doing things solo. And this is by no means unique. There's so many musicians that have just kind of turned to doing this lately, and then kind of arranging the live band as it comes, or if it comes, with the whole lockdown.
I mean, reality. Isn't that how 9 Inch Nails started?
It sounds
Trent
right.
Reznor.
Trent Reznor. I think that's mainly his project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right up there.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that.
Sure. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to share.
Please do.
So, Icebreaker, that's the top song on the album. It's literally the icebreaker to the album. And there's like a reference to an experience my sister had when she was coming down. I'll just say a mind-altering experience. And the first
This is a podcast. You can say whatever the fuck you
want.
Yeah.
The first time it happened, she like literally saw the classic Matrix zeros and ones streaming down. Like she
no!
into the Matrix and saw the code.
Freaked out.
Yeah, like freaked her
out. Totally.
But it just like everything made sense, and it was like falling down and cascading, like really similar to how the movie depicts it. And then that happened like when she was in some sort of tent inside, so it was kind of a wacky situation. And then like the next time it happened, she was outdoors with her future husband in Mexico, and same thing, like coming down from a trip, and just saw these numbers cascading down, like in front of this cloudy kind of thundery sky. So in the lyrics, I just referenced that, like she's seeing numbers cascade down. Jill in the Matrix, we're all code in the program, code like ice.
Because I always ask about advice, but I think with you, I'm gonna be more specific since you've been here before. What's a good piece of business advice you would give a new performing musician? That's a little more specific.
Oh yeah, okay. I would tell myself in the past, just like stick with something. I'm ADD when it comes to like naming new projects and changing my sound. But really, like the amount of times people need to see like a project name to, I don't know, become attached with it and aware of it, is like many times. So if you just stick with the same kind of name and image and sound and just do your own thing long enough, I feel like that's kind of a cool strategy. So I'm more of like the long-term kind of thinking now, as opposed to like short-term release, make a big explosion, something's going to happen. I'm more like, I'm just going to be consistent.
I think consistency is really important, and it's not discussed. Yeah. I mean, you have to kind of reinvent yourself as an artist on each album, especially like every 5 or 10 years. It happens naturally.
Sometimes you don't have to reinvent yourself if you're just listening to new stuff and not denying yourself to grow.
But the consistency, like you can't.
Yeah.
Especially for people like, I hate to say it, but people like 20 and under, they're like, oh, I'm going to be a YouTube star because I can play guitar and sing. Well, you're going to have one big blow up and that's it. What's your you got to keep at it.
Oh, that's another thing that I would see. I think that I would say. I think like a lot of kids going into this now are seeing influencers make it really big, and you hear these stories in the headlines like, this person is making $1 million a month off their TikTok videos or whatever. Like, that person is 1 out of like 10 million. Right. They are such the exception, but everyone thinks it's possible and it's going to be them. And it's just a terrible way of going about this, and it kind of defeats like the purpose of making art at the same time. So I would, really stray from that like attitude and expectation.
I think those social media platforms are great for like sharing your art, but they're not great for creating long-term art. I don't know if long-term art is a thing.
It's difficult to build yourself too on those platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured out how to use TikTok, and I almost wish I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it's kind of a place, but maybe it's helpful to some people. I thought of another thing. You're asking me for advice.
Yeah.
social media is like one way to spread yourself, I guess, but there's no reason just to like use one platform only. I mean, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's TikTok. Like, I think spreading yourself out is better for exposure. And key. Also, but not just for social media, like there's radio stations that are still like on the air, there's online radio stations. There's like terrestrial stations in colleges and stuff. It's not just streaming on Spotify. Like that's one way people might consume music, but there's just a lot of different spaces out there. And if you just look into that, the whole network, it's like, there's not just KXP. Like, yeah, they're a huge like guiding light for indie music, but there's so many of other cool stations out there. Like WMPG, for example, in Portland, Maine, 90.9. I love their programming. It's really eclectic. And there's like a lot of cool DJs all throughout the country and Canada too, spinning that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't like put all your eggs in one basket. Like if you don't get airplay on KXP, or like if you lose this one battle of the bands, there's like many ways to get your name out. Why not like try them all? Also, I would say like, don't pay to play. Okay.
Don't pay. I agree.
Payola is illegal, actually, like by law in the US. And also it violates Spotify's terms of service if you're like paying for playlist placement. These shady people have all these weird ways to get around that. And I think in the end, it just kind of attracts like more bots to you.
Yeah.
This has been really fun.
Awesome. Sorry I kept you for so long. I appreciate your time. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to hear about like what's in store for Sound Pollution.
I am really excited for Lookup Fest. So if I happen to be able to get back out there and I was to like, hey, send me some tickets, could I get tickets?
You're on the guest list like already.
Fuck yeah. All right, everybody, that was episode 72 of Sound Pollution. I want to take this opportunity again to thank Darksoft for coming back to the show and spending so much time with me for this lovely interview and sharing his music. I want to thank you wonderful listeners for stopping by. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, download, and share this episode on whatever listening platform you are choosing to use. That's all for this week. Get out there and remember to make some noise.